Yeah, so I'll just give you some context also into the company. To
Hmm.
start with, so I think the case study effectively that I'm going to be talking about today is about Millennium IT, the company I'm attached to. And just to give a background into that company, also so we are going on our 30th year, right? So January will be 30, right? And it has had a significant, very good business in Sri Lanka. And at the time I joined, also it was almost 25 years for the company then. I mean, it had done really well. Had ventured into different areas. Part of the business was acquired, or actually, the entire business was acquired by the London Stock Exchange at one time due to the capital markets product it had built at the time. But then there was part that came out of the London Stock Exchange, right? And that was predominantly the original business, which was more on the infrastructure system integration space, right? So that is the business now that is now what we call as Millennium IT ESP. So this business had been predominantly operating in Sri Lanka, right? Pretty much going into all the banks, all the telcos, a lot of public sector work, a lot of manufacturing sector work, and so on. And I think 95 to 98% all based in Sri Lanka. And it had had a good business as well, a good run, because at one time it was the technology company to go to, right? And we saw other companies come up over the years, but at one time, it was uh, the company, the go-to company, where all the skill sets were based, a lot of experience, a lot of partnerships, and so on, right? So all the banks, telcos who wanted to go for the latest technologies or work with global OEMs had to work through the reselling mechanisms and the services mechanisms that the company had to offer. And for that reason, the company really did well, had built a really, really great brand in Sri Lanka. But then a time came where you needed to realize that you need to diversify at some point, right? Because all your eggs are now in one basket. 98% of your business is in Sri Lanka. And we were just about to hit economic crisis in Sri Lanka. And it's not the first time, right? The company has been through so much in 25, 29 years. But then there's a time that you come to this realization that you need to diversify. I think there was a realization that what if things become difficult in Sri Lanka, and this is before the economic crisis started, right? And the country was reeling back from several things. There was the Easter bombs, the Easter attacks that happened, and the pandemic effects globally in Sri Lanka as well, and then the looming economic crisis, right? So that was the initial aspiration was to see how we can diversify outside of Sri Lanka, and then also the realization that we have a portable skill set, right? And we can work with pretty much all the large global giants, the global OEMs. We have really certified great resource people in the company, right? Who done this for 2 decades plus. That's a massive amount of experience. Worked on some of the largest turnkey transformational projects in Sri Lanka, right? So that experience should mean something, right? So how can we monetize that outside of Sri Lanka now? And so that was the initial premise that we wanted to see how start exploring outside. So that's where it is.